The secret to content creation that you wish you knew sooner is exactly what I'm going to cover in this video. What you're going to watch is a live consulting client of mine call talking about content creation. More specifically, why it's so difficult to go from 0 to 1 as an entrepreneur when you're first starting to make content, which is actually where most business owners are at. Or you've started before, taken a long break, and are looking to start again, but just can't seem to figure out how. And I'll tell you the reason. It's these 3 bottlenecks that every single entrepreneur, 7, 8, 9-figure business owners that I've worked with have experienced in my time working with them. I'm going to cover how we alleviated each one of those bottlenecks. And the main one is the third one that you're going to want to stick around for because it's one that gets everybody. So enjoy the video. Please leave a comment of other videos you want me to make and I'll make them for you. I'm going to be posting every single day from here on out on YouTube. So tune in. Don't miss the video. I'll see you soon. What you don't realize is that content is a game of momentum, because if you go time and you go output, it's momentum, but it's also exponential, meaning it works like this. What ends up happening is that at the very, very beginning, when you've never done this before, your output is very low, but it is also very hard to go from 0 to 1 as in your first video. That's like right here. But by the time you've scripted out 8 videos, the 9th one, like your bottleneck up here will be, you have too many ideas, but you haven't worked this creative muscle before. You haven't worked this content muscle in your new way of thinking. You're learning a whole different way of thinking and kind of processing information, because now you're trying to pick up ideas from everywhere you go rather than just, now instead of watching content, you're studying it. But what ends up happening is that the progress when it comes to this stuff is exponential. So in the very beginning, it is incredibly difficult. Like for the last 3 weeks, we haven't got one video filmed. Incredibly difficult to get from 0 to 1 with this. But what's going to end up happening is, you saw how easy it was to write that script, right? If you do that 10 more times, the 11th time is going to be easier. The reason I'm explaining it this way is because you're just going to put your head down and create 20 videos. That's why I don't even care how you do it. And the reason it's so difficult here goes into my second point. There's a bottleneck here. There's a constraint here on your brain. This little 0 to 1 is filled with 3. There's 3 bottlenecks that you have. We're going to get personal here. Every business owner has these 3 bottlenecks. Matt had them. He does like 8 figures a year. Tanner had them. He's got like a 9-figure business now. Like every client that I've worked with has these bottlenecks. And it's these same 3 every single time.
You have them.
I have them. Yes. Everyone has them. Like everyone has these 3, except for really successful artists and the best creators in the world. What those 3 are is 1, time. You're limited on time because you're a business owner, so you don't have forever to create content. 2, you're limited on capital. You don't have infinite amount of money to throw at every video, so you can't pay a script writer immediately. You can't hire an amazing creative director and videographer and all this kind of stuff. Like you need to find a way for you to do it. And then number 3, and this is the biggest one actually, because these two you can figure out with outside solutions. There's software and scheduling hacks and all that kind of stuff for this kind of stuff. But here, it's your need for approval / you care how others look at you. That's your biggest bottleneck. This is essentially insecurity wrapped up in one word, meaning you're insecure about what people will think. You need the best microphone before you start because it needs to sound amazing. You need the best cameras so you look the most professional. You need the best PowerPoint slides and presentation so it looks amazing. You need the best script so it takes you hours to write one. You need the best ideas so you never even start writing the script. You need the best situation, like you need the most amount of time. You need to put $1,000 behind a video before you even think it's worth anything. Like you have these 3 bottlenecks appear in every situation. Every business owner has these. I have these when it comes to creating content. Number 3 is the biggest one that you need to attack, because when it comes to time, you can solve this. You have time blocking. You have the maker versus manager schedule that we covered last time. You have employees that you can delegate stuff to. Like you can figure out the time thing. Everyone has time. You have time for things. It's like you just had a kid. You didn't have time for a kid before, but now you do. Like, how did that happen? It's just priority. Like, you're not just gonna not spend time with your kid. It's the same thing. Like, if the biggest thing that is impacting your business is traffic and eyeballs right now, then it's just a matter of priority. Like the same way you wouldn't feed your baby, you can't not feed your business with what it needs right now, which is eyeballs. So time is just solved by prioritization. You can do that. We just did it. So we found the time. 2 is capital, which this oversees editors that are very good, meaning you can hire more higher level talent for less money than bad level talent that you had in the past. Put it that way. So you have the capital constraint solved. Not only that, but nowadays you don't need $100,000, $1 million to make a video. In the past you did, because you had to actually film on actual film. So every second was literally dollars. Now it's all digital. Now you can screen record and do whatever. So now it's literally free and infinite to how much you can film. So like your cost for making and creating media is literally 0 at this point. Your phone can create stuff. So capital there, handled. Money in terms of employees, we already handled that. Money in terms of like tools, CapCut is free. The AI tools that I showed you, those are $20 to $50 a month, like solved, right? Can you agree that time? Check. Like we've slowly but surely been knocking down and alleviating these bottlenecks. So you've gone from like 0 to like 0.5 right here. So that only leaves this. And when you tell me like I didn't film this week or like I didn't get a video done, I'm like, okay, I know exactly what it is. Now I don't know why that's there, but that's the only other thing it could be. It's just process of elimination. Meaning if the bottleneck is your fear of judgment, it could be fear of judgment, it could be perfectionism, it could be productive procrastination. I freaking knew that. At the end of the day, it like literally boils down to insecurity. You, for some reason, whether it's yourself, whether it's your cousin, your brother, your high school friends, your wife, your baby who can't even watch your videos yet, you or yourself, you fear someone's judgment of you and you haven't confronted that beast. And that is why you haven't gone from 0 to 1 and created your first piece of content. That's the only bottleneck that's left. We've checked off the other two. So now it's what is in way from not giving a damn about what people think about him, or what is in way from no longer caring about what does, or at least giving himself the grace to go out and actually put himself out there, even if it isn't perfect. So now that becomes the question. So let's process this.
No, I just want them to be good. That's what it was. Because I feel like I came from when I first started posting the credit videos, like they were so shitty, and I feel like they've gotten so much better. And then YouTube is going to be the same thing all over again of like shitty, you know?
Yeah.
With the stuff that we have around us, with the podcast studio, with all this stuff, I'm like, shit, I feel like I could start off really good.
Yeah, you can. So essentially, this insecurity is rooted, we'll do little roots right here, in perfectionism. That's pretty much
I'm my biggest own critic.
That's totally fine. Now here's the thing. Here's the mindset shift that is going to alleviate this bottleneck. Are you prepared? Perfectionism, I learned this, and this hit me hard because I'm a perfectionist myself. Perfectionism is a selfish trait. It's not you care, you just want to be the best for other people or anything like that. You care so much about what you're doing. It's almost narcissistic. I'm not going to call you that because I struggle with this too. You are prioritizing how you feel about yourself over the well-being of other people. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if you remember this, this is the ultimate framework. Content equals what? Service. Good content is service. Good content is helping other people and it's serving other people. So what perfectionism is, the reason this is happening is because you think like this. Content equals traffic, which equals leads, which equals sales, which equals money. You're approaching it from a selfish point of view and a selfish perspective.
100%. All of it.
And counterintuitive, even though it's counterintuitive, that's the complete wrong way to operate from this. By switching this, traffic, leads, sales, dollars, all this kind of stuff, well, yes, that's the end goal. And if instead you focus on providing as much value and serving as many people as possible through your content, this ends up being a byproduct. People end up saying that about business and everything. It's true. Like you do a bunch of free shit for people and then eventually they want to work with you. Like that happens. But my point is with content, for some reason, people like completely freak out and they change the rules of everything when it's really just the same thing. Imagine walking up to people every single day and being like, hey, you want to buy from me? Hey, you want to buy from me? Hey, you want to buy from me? Like, have you ever been stopped by someone in the street or something? And your response is like, or you probably used to be before you got into sales, like, fuck off, leave me alone. It might still be that. Now you might be like, oh, I like sales, so let's see what you got. But like in the past, it was like, fuck off, leave me alone. This is why. It's because those people they don't care. You're just another number to them. You're just this. You're just a lead. They don't care. But when you fully embrace this and they give you free samples and they treat you like an actual human and they're like, oh, they check on you like, hey, how's your kid doing? I know you just had one. Congratulations, all this other stuff. And then when they actually build a relationship with you, are you willing to do business with them? Yeah. For some reason, business owners forget all of that with content. It's hilarious. It's the funniest thing ever. The reason this is the ultimate framework is because it ends up impacting everything else. This actually solves this. Reason being, because if you weren't so worried about what you look like and how you think your own videos are and, you know, how the sound is and how the cameras are and all this other stuff, then if you're more so focused on, can they hear me? Can they see me? Can they understand what I'm saying? Then that becomes, do I need a microphone? Then this becomes, do I need a better camera? Then this becomes, do I need a better script? Do I need to develop frameworks? By coming from this place, it takes care of everything else. So you're going to end up perfect or closer to perfect than if you were to be worried about perfectionism in the first place. So logically, perfectionism, it doesn't make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense.
That way.
Logically, like you would think perfection, because it's in the name. Like perfectionism, if I'm a perfectionist, then everything's going to be perfect or it's going to be very close to. But in reality, here, what you care about so much, perfectionism, is the camera good? Do I sound good? Do I look good? Do I sound smart? Meanwhile, you completely don't care about if they can hear you, they can see you, they don't understand you. And if the camera isn't perfect, if the mic isn't perfect, if the frameworks in the script is not that great, what you end up doing is you take this video and you scrap it and you never post anything. Versus if you came from a mindset of servanthood, it would be like, I would rather have you have this video at 50% than not at all. And I will promise to improve on the next video. But because perfectionism is selfish, you don't post anything. So even though you think perfectionism would be a 10 out of 10 or as close to a 10 out of 10 as possible, well, perfectionism actually gets you a 0 out of 10. Meanwhile, if you actually cared about the person, you would at least do your best to do a 1 out of 10 because that's what's better for them. It's like if you had literally zero money and if you had no money and worked all the time, you would still find a way to feed your daughter something because that's the ultimate service framework. Why is it different for people that you're serving with your business? That's why it's not working. That's what's holding you back is your need to get paid rather than providing value. This is the actual problem, is that you're approaching it from a selfish point of view. And that's hard to admit because you're literally busy all day as a business owner, doing everything for everybody, paying everyone first. You're busy making sure everyone else is taken care of. You're busy making sure your daughter's taken care of, your wife's taken care of. You're making sure your clients are good. You're making sure that all this stuff. And then for me to come in and be like, yo, you're selfish is like, what the fuck are you talking about? But the numbers, 0 videos posted, like I need you to literally think about 0 videos posted. What ended up happening if one of the 100 views you would have gotten is some lady named like Sarah, and Sarah over here started a business and she happened to be on YouTube, and one of these 100 views was Sarah, who just opened up a business and had no money and then instead took a loan out from the bank, and now she's 50K in debt. Like, what's the average interest rate
For a loan?
Yeah, for a business loan.
14%.
She's in debt, 50 grand at a 14% interest rate. And she's right now, instead of worrying about getting leads and all this other stuff and actually running the business, now she's focused on how can she pay that off. And not only that, but how can she secure another $50,000 because she hasn't spent her time focused on making money. She's been focused on paying back the loan. So she's not going to actually make money. So she needs to bring out more money. And because cared so much about how his camera looked and his mic looked, or because any entrepreneur cared about how their camera looked, mic looked, or whatever looked, or if they sounded smart enough, or if they looked cool enough, because of this selfish perfectionism, this productive procrastination, this fear of judgment, this fear of appearing less than what they actually are, they ended up posting no videos. Sarah wasn't one of the 100 views. You actually got 0 views because you had 0 videos. And now Sarah is 100 grand in debt. She has a 14% interest rate. And she's a single mother with 3 kids. At this rate, Sarah, because she didn't see your video about funding at 0% interest, which is much less risk. And now because she didn't hear about your service, she's out of business. Poor Sarah. And this is why this framework is the ultimate framework, because if you actually cared about Sarah and Sarah is relying on you, which a lot of these people are. I mean, I didn't know about this funding stuff until I spoke to you. A lot of people have never heard of what you have to share. And because you're too busy wrapped up in yourself, you don't make something just on your phone, even though I've been telling you for 6 weeks to make something just quick on your phone that'll get like 500 views a piece. And now they can't get the help they need. And again, Sarah's out of business. But instead of Sarah, there's another one. His name is Jake. He's also out of business. And I don't know, we'll throw a Mexican in. Pablo, he's out of business. Lee is out of business. These people, they're screwed because cared too much about how his lighting looked. But this is every business owner, bro. Everyone does this. I do this. Literally everyone does this. And it's unfortunate because when I think back on why I even got into this stuff, the only reason I ever was interested in this stuff is because for some reason, a Gary Vee, a PBD, even though they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of M's right now, they're still creating content. But even back then, they're at least worth 7 figures. They could literally go off anywhere in the world and do anything with anyone and not do anything. They could retire. They could have retired 10 years ago. And because they were unselfish and that they realized that content equals service, these guys popped up on some kids' feed. And I'd say they were probably my biggest influences. And because of that, and because of their service, now I'm helping business owners like you create content in order to help other business owners. But you think your microphone check or whatever is more important than this possible massive impact on the world. The difference between guys like this and everyone else is how serious they take it. They literally look at this seriously. They look at it as, if I don't post my video today, this person is not gonna, get their daily dose of inspiration. And, they were on the edge of quitting their job and starting their business. And because I missed a day, they had a bad day. They may not realize it, but, their little pick-me-up usually didn't arrive because I didn't post the video because the audio was messed up. And now they don't go as far as where, you think I might be going. But instead of quitting their job and running their business, they just don't quit their job and they stay in their job and they're just okay for the rest of their life. Meanwhile, bro's potential was to build a massive business and impact like a ton of people around the world.
This is good.
I told you that one channel I grew to like 300,000 subs, like 300,000 people decided to hit subscribe. We were at around 100K, whole YouTube plaque right here. We were at 100K. I didn't come to this realization yet. I was like, channel's making a lot of money. We got the silver plaque. The number on the screen is higher. We're getting the 1 out of 10 every time you post on YouTube, and the green arrow pointing upward. And like YouTube gives you like confetti whenever you get a 1 out of 10, 1 out of your last 10 performing videos. Meaning I viewed it as numbers on the screen until we got a comment of someone that said, hey, I've been watching your channel for the last 6 months. I was homeless and I was watching it on my phone whenever I could get service. And 6 months later, I got a job and I'm back making 6 figures. And that guy didn't pay us a dime. But I promise you, he sent the channel to everyone else, which might have recommended anyone to watch the channel, which might have led to a lead and led to a sale. Not only that, but literally Google, pull up on Google, Cowboy Stadium. I went to a Cowboys game, Cowboys versus the Bears. Cowboys won. But sold out game. 100,000 people were there. And I remember walking into the stadium like, oh my gosh. It's kind of overwhelming. The first time you walk into a stadium, it's like, damn. And it's super loud and you can't believe there's that many people on earth. It's a big deal. Like there's a lot of people. And then I went back home and then I see, damn, my video only got 50,000 views today. It's like a stadium's worth of people on your stuff. And you're like, dang. Because you're procrastinating, because you're a perfectionist, because you're operating out of the wrong framework, those 50,000 people, those 10,000 people that you would have helped, those 100 people, 50 people are now not going to receive the help. And now we end up with another world of Sarahs and Pablos and Jakes and failed business owners because they didn't get your service. That's the bottleneck. Like, it's not your camera.
Ready.
Like,
Got it.
This is it. If you can just focus on serving as many people as humanly possible through your videos and your content, that's it. You will get to this 20 video mark in no time. And then what you're going to realize is that you're not even going to notice when you crossed there. Like, you're not even going to notice. Like, oh, I made 20 videos. Is my 20th video already? Dang. Oh, we hit 50,000 subs. I barely even noticed. Like, I'm so busy. You're going to notice because everyone pays attention. But it's not going to hit as hard. Like, I used to like sit there refreshing the screen, not realizing that those were actual people. And like this time thing, check. Capital, check. The thing that solves this perfectionism, insecurity thing is the mindset shift of content is service. That fixes it all. As long as you are operating out of this, and you somewhat care about people, which you do, then easy ass. Did this help?
Big time.
I say this, bro, like transparently. Also, I was solving the problem for myself when I came up with the answer. I'm over here like, damn, trying to make more money is making me less money. Because I was like, I had 3 to 4 YouTube videos edited and like done. And I didn't post any of them for like a month. Because I'm like, I'm the content guy. They're going to like audit my stuff and make sure that my sound is good, that my camera is good, with this and that. And then I'm like, what the like if they would have gotten this information last month, like how much further ahead would you be right now?
Yeah, why didn't you tell me this?
So that's what I'm saying is me being selfish. Like I was being selfish. I was being insecure about that and I was being a perfectionist. Even though I know what this is. Like I've operated this way this entire time. It's just I'm new to doing it for myself.